Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Marketing Backstage session. My name is Manny Alfonso, and I work as an account executive at Rock Content. It's a pleasure to be here with you today and checking out really good advice from our teams. Today, we're going to talk about interactive assessments and how I can help you qualify and generate leads and how it can be an amazing tool for your marketing funnel. And before we start with today's episode, I would love to spend just 1 minute to tell you a bit about our Marketing Backstage. The Marketing Backstage is a series of webinars from Rock Content where we bring our marketing experts from different teams to share our experiences. We run this webinar once every 2 weeks, and if you join us, you'll have the opportunity to get some insights, get inspired, and to better execute your day-to-day activities. With that said, though, let's get started and let's go into topic. A little bit about me first. I've been close to content production for over a decade. I started this journey with Visually back in 2014. And my expertise ranges from content marketplaces, interactive content, production management for content, of animated web experiences, and other graphic design formats. And as you can see there, I have a few things that I love doing in life. For example, I am a classically trained pianist. I love staying active with some sports. I took that up pretty recently, do some soccer and pick up basketball games, which is pretty fun. I have a very energetic 3-year-old daughter who's rambunctious and playful, and it's definitely a lot of energy and a lot of fun. I speak 3 languages, and I love to collaborate. It's one of my favorite things about being a professional. So that's it about me. And let's jump right into the main topic of our webinar today in Marketing Backstage, which is interactive assessments. And we're going to answer a few questions as to what this is. And in our agenda, we're going to discuss what is an interactive assessment, what makes an interactive assessment, how could you use it to engage and qualify your visitors in the marketing funnel. How can you generate leads with interactive assessments? We're going to talk about how to use them, how to implement them in your strategy, and also a few examples as to, the interactive assessments for top of funnel, mid funnel, and others. And last but not least, we'll be discussing how to actually create these interactive assessments, what's going to enable you and empower you to build them. All right, so let's get to part 1 of our presentation here, and it's what is an interactive assessment. And before we start, it was something very important about the content scenario today. It's you need to bring visibility to your content. And how do you do that when content is actually becoming a commodity? We're seeing the trends now. It's easier to build content. We have all of these enablers, especially with the rise of AI coming up, and just adding a lot of efficiency to our workflow, especially on the creative side. So how do you break the mold and break that repetition of content being commoditized? You have to go beyond. You have to create experiences that resonate. So the way we consume content today has changed, and we think it's in a better way. Or for the best, actually. Consumers have new expectations today. Users actually spend 25% of the day consuming content. We're always on our phone, either reading something, seeing an ad or pop up. So content is in our DNA of the modern 2024 era. We don't have the patience and time for bad experiences. We swipe past them because they're just not interesting to us. And multiple content formats are coming up, different channels and ways to distribute and consume this content are coming up at a faster pace than ever. So what's going on, right? 61% of marketers are saying that creating the right content for their audience is a challenge. And there's a lot of strategic legwork, as you know, into creating the right piece of content that resonates. Whether it's diving deep into the expertise inside of your specific industry, or understanding your persona. That content is what helps them solve their pain points. So it has to be strategically created. Meaningful, valuable, and creative on-brand content can help you stand out from the crowd. And none of us like having poor ads or content thrown at us. But every now and then, I'm sure you've all experienced content that was rich, content that made you respond emotionally and made you think, that was worth my time knowing about. And I know we've all run across or come across these pieces of content in the past. And the big question here is, what are interactive assessments? So, in a nutshell, interactive assessments are an interactive content format. Let's take a step back and talk about assessments in general. We all know what they are. They're used to judge the amount, value, quality, or importance, or even progress of what is being assessed. We've all seen assessments to some capacity. It's your high school exams or college exams are basically assessments. Assessments are scored and they provide a sort of quantitative or qualitative feedback to the person taking that assessment. You would have several types of assessments as well. If we're going into the business or marketing realms, you have maturity assessments, risk assessments, diagnosis assessments that help you find solutions, and other types of assessments in our business world, business assessments, marketing funnel assessments. So there are various types of use cases for an assessment, and they can deliver via various formats, right? And today we're going to be discussing that interactive assessment, which is the digital format of providing this experience to interact with your users. And before diving deeper into that interactive assessment definition, let's define what is interactive content. So interactive content is a format that is designed for user participation. They usually include a feedback loop in which the outcome of the experience is directly impacted by the interaction of the visitor. It also allows marketing professionals the ability to create a digital dialogue between the visitor and its marketing automation platform. So interactivity can appear in calculators, quizzes, ebooks, videos, infographics, assessments, and are an incredible format to engage with your target audience. Now, what's the difference between interactive content and, let's say, static content? Static content is great for evergreen information. If you're creating something that's going to stand the test of time, static content usually would be the format. However, it's also designed to build authority over long periods of time, but it does not engage as much as interactive content does. That's because interactive content is essentially a two-way street. Interactive content gives another dimension to the learning experience. As you can see there, it's considered to be 300 times or 300% more educational than static content. Just the act, if you could call it the haptic feedback of interacting with an experience, it helps your absorption, right? It also helps you convert 2 times more than static content, and generates 4 to 5 more page views. So if you want to create something that's compelling, that you want to ensure that your users are using and you're able to track that usage as well, that engagement, interactive content is definitely the way to go. Now, also interactive assessments, and going into the precise definition here, they're just a set of questions designed to turn visitors and potential customers into engaged participants, and help marketers gather zero-party data alongside any other form or other data form fills that you are collecting as well. This information is then used to create personalized or dynamically generated content, recommendations that can include a diagnosis or a prescription or a customized, we usually live on a customized results page. Could also be a score. We'll look at later into what, for example, these interactive maturity assessments look like in terms of staging and scoring. But then, I'd like to actually toss a question your way. Have you ever found yourself feeling like you want to be understood when being aware of a pain or shopping around for solutions? Just want to get to the pill as soon as possible, right? And, while you search for that knowledge, do you want to get content that is tailored to your use case and needs? Or do you prefer to ruffle around, kind of do the whole search top to bottom, look for the broad topics, and then hone into what you're looking for there? And that's the beauty of personalized content. It's a type of content that allows consumers or potential customers to save time and helps them hone in on this decision faster or get to a certain piece of knowledge faster. And it's great tool for both top and middle of the funnel in terms of strategy and the marketing funnel. So, according to Accenture, 83% of consumers are keen on sharing their personal data in order to get a personalized experience. And this is huge. This makes assessments a very powerful tool to provide personalized educational or solution driven content. It enables that two-way dialogue that we talked about earlier between the potential customer and your brand. And let's draw a bit of a line and a difference here between something that could be more of a simplistic assessment through a form, which is field driven or multiple choice driven, and what an interactive assessment is and represents here in this case. So, assessments through a form, they have limited means to collect data. They have limited rules and logic unless you really dive in and customize through custom code. They have limited lead sharing options, limited results pages, also limited A/B testing possibilities. So, as we see the limitations through standard forms that you could potentially use to gather information or assess knowledge or any other type of information, interactive assessments are a bit different. They're a bit more immersive, as you can see here. They have high levels of customization with the data collected. They have the flexibility to create the rules and the logic that you need to create those on-brand immersive experiences. They have integrations with marketing automation platforms and CRMs so that you're collecting the data and logging it and storing it as quickly as possible. Then you can follow up on those leads. Personalized results pages, which is huge again for that dynamic content, matching what your inputs are in the assessment. And of course, last but not least, and very importantly here, is unlimited A/B testing possibilities for optimization. Well, that was part one. Let's jump into part two, and it's how to engage and qualify visitors with assessments and generate leads. So interactive assessments are really great for the top of the funnel and helps you identify helps your persona discover their pain points and needs, which is huge for that awareness phase. Educating your persona as well with personalized content focused on their needs, as I said, a much better way to educate through feedback. Offering your persona the opportunity to evaluate the knowledge is another way to get some interest via a quiz, for example. Measuring your persona's maturity on a specific stage or process. Lead scoring, prioritization, and segmentation. And then we get into the topic of qualification and how all of that data gets included in your CRM for future outreach and nurturing. Because of the nature of the assessment, users not only get the chance to get their own valuable insights from you and your brand, but you have the opportunity to strategize as to what the best questions are to help you qualify. You'll be able to see an example here, and hopefully I'm able to portray this the right way. But if you sell red oranges, let's say that they're hypothetically helping with concentration, right? One of the questions may be in an assessment from a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your ability to focus? Or are you diagnosed with ADHD? And these are huge qualifiers that help you and give you information as to how to nurture this potential lead, to sell them red oranges in the future. And gating these type of assets it's a great way to collect this information and generate leads. So these assessments, while providing that value to your user, you have the ability to either gate them with a form, collect their username, their email, put them into a nurturing campaign in the future according to that profile that you just generated. And then at the end of the day, you're going to have also the ability to nurture these follow-ups with custom tailored data. And I'll show you an example here of one assessment that was created. So this assessment for Centermark, in this particular case, is a franchise leadership assessment. So what's the whole point here is you're providing a way to score or assess over a certain topic. And this is very interesting 1 to 4 assessment, scoring assessment, and you have a multiple choice in the back here. And all of this is data that defines your user that eventually becomes a lead. And the beautiful part of it is that you can decide to gate the results. So you can gate before the assessment, or you can gate after the assessments and before the results. It really depends. That's something that can be A/B tested, for example. But let's go ahead and click on Get Your Results. And then the user fills out a form, and that is integrated with your CRM, and you get this information. And again, those inputs, those strategic questions that you asked during the assessment will give you a profile and will give you a way to tackle them as a lead. And going back to the presentation here. Well, basically, that was the first example of a top of funnel assessment. Let's dive into a middle of funnel assessment and what they're great for. Great for sharing your business's solution. So at the middle of funnel, you got this contact and you've been nurturing them for a while. They are looking for a pill for their pain. So this is a great opportunity to see how you can match their solutions to those profiles. And assessments are a great way to do that. With another follow-up assessment, you can hone in on that pain and ask them, hey, what about what we have here? There are different plans and different offerings that we have in our very complex SaaS or enterprise solution that you can look into. Hop on a call. And these type of results will really give that user the ability to choose and decide that you're the best fit for them. So that middle of funnel interactive assessment is great for sharing those solutions according to your persona's needs and that profile that you already started to generate, educating more about your solutions in the long run, collecting more data for your sales team for further qualification, which is huge, and then getting them into that MQL bucket, which is the ultimate goal here. And I'll show now a bit of an example of a middle of funnel assessment. And this is a quiz that shows what extended warranty is right for you. So again, we're going straight into a solution. And if you interact with it, you're going to see multiple choice options. How old is your car? 6 to 10 years, for example. And the idea here is that you're going to get plan options according to what your inputs are. Then you can go ahead and go through the entire CTA. So a great way to qualify contacts, great way to get them down the funnel and get more information from them and really prime them, home in on a solution for them. So remember when I said that 61% of technology marketers are saying that creating the right content for their audience is a challenge? Interactive assessments at the top of funnel, they can serve as a gateway for informing more personalized content, as we mentioned. The power of this personalization, coupled with meaningful zero-party data and data collection via forms, can provide you with unique qualification opportunities and even more personalization for nurturing. That said, I think we've started to get a complete picture as to how an interactive assessment can help, not just with lead quality by further qualification, by identifying and segmenting these leads into the buckets that you can nurture them in, or collecting further information or educating them. They also help you with generating these leads as well, these very informed leads. How can you promote these assessments? Where do you put them? And that's a really great question. They can go multiple places, as you can see here. They can be added as a CTA on your homepage, linking to that assessment. They can even be embedded on a specific page or relevant page that is high traffic or high value. Let's say a blog post that educates a target audience about a specific pain, and you want to hone in on solving that pain and measuring that pain. That user might be interested in actually clicking on that CTA because that pain is something they want to quantify and get rid of as fast as possible. They might not even be aware of the pain, and they say, "Hey, you know what? I scored on stage 5 in pain here. I better do something about it." You can add them to your email marketing campaigns, and this is what we discussed in the middle of funnel. Adding them to your nurturing campaigns, honing in on a solution. You can promote them at top of funnel and boost them on social media as well. You can have them be a pop-up in your website. You can have a CTA in your case studies or client pages or stories. You can add them to your remarketing campaigns, promote via paid ad campaigns. There are several ways that you can tackle assessments and distribute them. I would say a very interesting one is definitely adding a micro experience to a blog post. Other relevant articles that could be popular to educate these users really ails your potential customers. These type of topics that ail your potential customers, I think this is the best approach to really distribute and promoting this content. Now, let's jump into some interactive assessment examples, and let's talk about two of them that we have in store here for you. One of them is the maturity assessment. Uh, Maturity assessments can be a tool for education. They can be a tool for enabling action. They can be a tool for next steps and providing plans as to what you can do to course correct. So it's an opportunity to provide more content to drive those next steps to course correct and to share different solutions that can help your leads. So this is also known as a stage assessment, where your result is really a choice of a few stages inside of the qualification of that specific process that you're assessing. So, what is the progress or current state of the lead in that process? What can they do to fix that? And that's the beauty of the maturity assessment as a top of funnel experience, is that helps them gauge and educate and learn and take next steps. So, let's go ahead and jump into this example here. And this is one engaging way that you can basically create that dialogue with your audience. How mature is your content strategy? Do you work for an agency? Yes or no? So with interactive content, you have the ability to create these engaging experiences that can be quickly filled out in order to generate that learning experience for your user, and then also build that authority that you need at the top of funnel as well. So these are incredible experiences that allow you to really interact with users. And let's go back to the next example that we're going to talk about here. Is the interactive diagnosis. An interactive diagnosis really aims to create prescriptions and recommendations, starting with questions as a diagnosis, for example. What do you do here, for example? How mature is your SEO strategy? What are we going to recommend? And that hones in more on the recommendations and the prescribed elements, whether it's recommending more top of funnel content, educational content, or actually diving in and recommending solutions with something like a solution finder. You can have a broad variety of ways to diagnose and prescribe the pill for the pain in that case. So let's look at that really awesome example very quickly. And by the way, you can check both of these examples out. We can definitely send links to these examples. They're great ways to measure your maturity and to get more educated content on, for example, in this particular topic, SEO. So let's go ahead and take a look so you can see the interactivity that you're providing your users here. With very simple workflows. And then again, once you fill out the entire thing, Then you get a results page. Your SEO skills are novice, for example. I randomly selected them. So in this case, then you have the ability to create a form and share that, get that user to share that information to get more info and more data from you, or get more insights, get nurtured, or subscribe to your newsletter. So this is a really great opportunity. And here you see that it's not a gated experience. It's an option to and input that information. But if it is a very valuable piece of content, gating might be the right way to go about it. All right. And let's go into how can I create this content? How do I do this at scale? And that's an interesting question that we're going to discuss now. Let's get to know a platform called Ion. It's a no-code platform that will enable you to create interactive experiences at scale. So integrate it with your CRM, capture meaningful personal first-party or zero-party data that will enable you to revamp your customer journey and provide those personalized experiences that you're looking for. It also has a variety of rich features that can enable marketers to optimize. For example, A/B testing, dynamic content insertion, personalization, a sell-side page that you can send directly to your CRM, outlining the entire profile of their input. Ion is a very powerful way to enable you to create those rich branded experiences that we spoke about earlier. Not only that, it also comes with an entire template gallery of over 70 quick starts. And these quick starts are not just assessments, they're also solution finders. They're also ebooks for educational purposes, ebooks that you can gate at different chapters, infographics, lookbooks, microsites, content hubs. You can then extrapolate from those content types to create other things like interactive magazines, brochures, interactive catalogs. There are so many things that you can do with interactive content. And getting a really great enabler like Ion is a great way to go to start revamping your customer journey and providing those rich branded experiences that we discussed earlier. Without further ado, just send me an email, right? Get a free demo. Let's talk about how you can use interactive content in your content strategy. You have my email there on screen. We'll send all of that. And yeah, let's talk. Let's discuss. We will send a link in the comments and to download the PDF for future reference as well, so that you can take a look at this information and reference it again. Let's have a quick look at what we learned today. We learned what are interactive assessments, what makes them interactive in general, how to use them for qualification, segmentation, lead generation, and sales, how to use them at the top and middle of the funnel, for nurturing at middle of the funnel, and some examples as well. We took a look at 4 interactives that were compelling, and then enabling you to actually create these assessments with a very powerful tool. Well, guys, we're almost coming up at the end here, but I wanted to say that our next Marketing Backstage edition, you're going to have the opportunity to learn from the wonderful Larissa Mendez. She's an expert in content marketing and SEO, and she's going to walk you through how you can thrive in today's SEO landscape by accurately mapping your content. I really recommend you join this awesome Marketing Backstage session. Don't miss it. It's going to prove to be informative for you. Well, guys, it was great to talk with you today. We've reached the end of our webinar, and I would like to thank you all for attending, being here this afternoon. I hope you were able to get some insights that will help you on your daily activities. This webinar was recorded. It's available for you to watch at any time on the same link, and share with anyone that you think might be interested in this type of content in this conversation. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, or stay tuned and watch our next edition of the Marketing Backstage that will be held soon. Thank you guys very much, and have a very nice day.